There's a few misconceptions about Necrobinder right now that I think this run does a really good job of addressing. One is that souls are bad, and specifically bad into Dorito and Aeon Glass. And two, that Austie attacks are not that good and can't ever really work and can't combine with other archetypes and do other things. This run, I think, is a perfect example of how you can really bridge everything in a character's kit together to make a cohesive deck, even if all the words on the cards say different things on them. They're not all just souls, they're not all doom or archetype things. But yeah, this run's a perfect example of stringing together a bunch of random stuff to make a very, very strong run. So I hope you enjoy it and hope you learn a lot from it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hello, let's get into a Necro run. I am repping my Vo merch. Sick band, toured with them a while ago, really cool guys, so go listen to their stuff, it's really good. Okay, we have Underdogs, which is already a good thing that you like to see on Necrobinder. This character is able to get away with drafting a bit more degenerately, as in not adding attacks. This early map is quite rough, though. There's a lot of advanced hallways here with, like, no way to dodge it. Like, here down, basically, if these events roll hallways, you're kind of just going to get them. And as far as this is concerned, Nia's Bones basically never. This character really hates curses, really wants to remove strikes and keep a slim deck to loop like Bodyguard Unleash. Until Necro changes fundamentally, I think that's always going to be true, and it's even more so true on Underdogs because you're just allowed to do that. So yeah, this is never, we can rule that out basically, unless these options were complete garbage and the map was like the worst thing of all time, I guess, but it's not. Nia's Fury, 150 gold. I think in general, I don't really want the Nia's Fury. Pretty similar idea. This leaves us with gold, and this map is actually quite awkward because it looks like it's pretty difficult to get elites in general. I could see something like taking this early shop, but the fact that there's a shop here makes me want to do something like this and then C. At this like kind of decision point here, we can go left or we can go right. If we go right, it means no shop at all, but maybe we get a question mark shop. Maybe I also just hold my gold for Act 2 because this path looks very attractive actually. 2 elites is pretty much the max you're getting on this map. You can do 3, but it looks kind of psychotic. There's no fires. Left, you could pivot into the shop, or you can go into fires and take the late shop, but this gives you only 1 elite if you want to dodge another shop. You could go into the shop again and take this. I think basically all of this means that, like, because of the forced shop, that the gold is very attractive on this side. And if I'm somehow strong enough that I can go right side anyways, then that's also fine, and I can just use the gold next deck. I think the gold is just, like, by far the best thing here. Right side has more options here in terms of how to pivot my pathing, so we're just going to start here and see. Okay. No reason not to just full block, and then this is also just max damage. Okay. And this is kind of why Austie, I think, is so strong in Underdogs as well, because, like, I just full block this even though I bricked my block. Have just random 2 block left over. And the goal basically is to always just have leftover blocks so that if you do break, and when you break, really, that you're allowed to sort of just not care. Okay. I don't think playing Unleash here makes any sense because it does 11, and then the breakpoint for killing this is 13, which is 3 strikes, which is kind of awkward. So I'm better off, like, sort of trading a bit. Next turn, we can math out. This looks like lethal to me, so I'm not going to really bother. Okay. Obviously, these 2 cards are the only damage cards on the screen. And they are not so great. I don't mind an Ethereal Defile, basically, early on. Reeve is almost never. But I think, more importantly, we have Friendship on the screen, which has consistently been one of Necro's, like, best cards, I think. What this does tell me, though, is this makes me weaker in the short term until I get removes and maybe other cards added to the deck. And so because of that, I want to take the shop now. We could even consider going max question marks like this and then seeing. I don't think we'll do that, but we'll see what happens in these fights if something horrible happens. This is definitely carrying some risk. I'm allowed to do it, I think, because of the gold start and the potion, and we can, like, solve what happens here. Unfortunately, going to this early shop makes the pathing kind of awkward. So in addition to this, we could also just decide to do this instead and say that I take Friendship and I get, like, 1 less elite. but I have a way safer path. I just have to deal with the advanced hallway, so we need to pick something to solve that problem soon. Because, like, you can see here, right, this is sort of just going to brick you. And I think I will play it. Obviously, you can, like, play strikes or whatever, but it's one less card in the deck. Like, we'd rather that be a defend, and this, yeah, this would have blocked, right, if we drew it last turn. It does simplify a lot of these turns, because I'm allowed to basically play the full hand. Like, any relevant cards. So not a whole lot of micro anymore to talk about. Strike for fun. Okay. This gets worse because we have friendship in the deck. And in addition to that, I think it's not really necessary anyways to pick these damage cards even without the friendship because the path is so safe. Poke, on the other hand, also gets worse because of friendship because it costs 0 and you're more likely to float energy. Like if you draw it in a hand alongside Ascender's Bane, you're getting screwed a bit. But I think overall we need some damage, and I will click this. The other 2 cards are just unpickable, basically. Okay. This is a decent use of our gold. Holding cards in hand with friendship is quite nice. Lets you basically just decide to spend more energy on one turn than another when you need to. So I think I will pay this. And also when you are holding cards in your hand, you are able to not redraw them. So it makes it more likely you actually draw into your block and relevant stuff. I think I will do 2 cards here. We have decent chunk of gold. This does speak for not going to a second shot for sure. And then we can maybe go like this. But again, this is quite awkward. It's like I will accept a dead node to have an extra elite though. 2 hallways is not the same value as an elite, basically. Elite is just better, usually. I think Bodyguard gets played most of the time when you draw it. So we probably don't want to put Retain on it. Unleash for sure gets held. And outside of that, it's unclear. You can retain and defend. It is a little awkward compared to Bodyguard, I guess. So there's turns where like you can still retain the Bodyguard and it's a better card and I want to play it more. Also maybe works with stuff that kills Asti or plays with Asti life, of which there are a few. I do remember the last time I put this on Bodyguard, I didn't really love it. But this time we do have friendship. So easier to play the other cards in hand, I guess. I think putting this on defend feels bad. Maybe it's correct to take 1, but I think if you're paying for this event, you want to pay for all of it. Just 2 cards retaining is so strong. And we can go here and decide what to do afterwards. Unfortunately, I can't take an event here and then decide. Have to commit now, which means like we're going to walk into the advanced hallway. But I think poke is strong enough and the retaining stuff is strong enough. So for example, like here, I'm allowed to hold Unleash now and not play it right away. And instead I can do this. And now I have damage later, although this turn is quite nasty. Bodyguard is 5 damage rather than 4, so that's just always played. We don't need to think that hard about this. I don't know if I have lethal. I kind of think I do. Because this is 8, 14, 27. Problem with this is that this guy hits really hard next turn, but I guess we can cross that bridge when we get to it. It's possible now I can like redraw back into more blocks, right? Or Bodyguard, which is great. And this actually is perfect full block. So you can see the retain already doing tons of work. Not much to do here, just play the whole hand. Friendship is going to simplify a lot of these turns. Okay. Dredge with retaining cards and with poke. Can Dredge Unleash. Shroud is recently buffed. Has a higher number on it. Obviously doesn't do anything right now. Dredge with friendship is also a little bit more appealing, so I might actually consider this. Also works with the skill potion. We can pull back the card we select. I will say that I think these fires are definitely needed. This hallway is probably going to hurt pretty hard. This is a horrendous turn, but I guess Dredge at least makes it not completely wasted. This fight is extremely scary, so I'm willing to pot here for sure. And here you can see kind of the issue. There is definitely an argument for killing right first here. I think we will go ahead and open skill potion. Any like end of days or something would be immediately winning. But also like very important to be able to block here. think this is a no-brainer delay. It just blocks way too much. Of course, we play this. We will always play the other stuff before I play Friendship here. So on the other hand, you can say that killing left means you can maintain Asti HP and then your damage does not actually drop off a cliff. Because right now it will. That's partially why I wanted to use the skill pot right away. We're just going to accept that we're getting hit here. But of course we knew this going into it. Yeah, I can see left being better. It's a good threshold here because next turn we have lethal guaranteed. These will do 12 after Friendship is played. And this is perfect lethal. Friendship getting played here. It's maybe correct to skip it. Because next turn it's the same. You just strike, strike, defend. The main consideration is that you get to redraw Friendship if you don't play it, which is not good. So probably play it. Definitely need to think about not playing it though, for sure. Okay, delay is big. Of course we do this as mentioned, and then this full blocks, and now this fight goes a lot better. But yeah, we had to commit the potion. I think otherwise this fight is absolutely horrendous. There's no lines here, we just play the cards. Need to play this basically every time you see it, but because it has retain here, we can actually try to wait for bodyguard. So we can do delay into full block here. And then now we, of course, play hand. Fortunately, just a tiny bit off, but not so bad. Delay saved a million HP in this fight, for sure. A potion. Another Friendship, absolutely not. Wisp is basically not needed at all. You can have it with Dredge, but yeah, this deck does not do damage, which is the main issue. So the Elite's out of the question. We can definitely talk about the shop needing to bail us out, because that's kind of what's happening here. The deck has a lot of potential, like it has a lot of engine pieces and a lot of like strong stuff for later, you know, with the retain. I think upgrade bodyguard is extremely strong here. Outside of that, we can talk about these. Poke upgrade might actually need to happen. We'll see what happens in the event. Maybe we get a card or something, but I think I do not want to force myself into this elite because it just removes so many fires and we're not strong enough that I think I can get to the act without the fires. Bodyguard upgrade just happens. That allows us to do more damage with Unleash. It's also block. Kind of both. Unfortunately, we get a fight here. Fortunately, we draw well on turn 1. And so here's Dredge kind of doing exactly what we want, right? Pulls back this, pulls back this. Could play Strike, but I think Bodyguard gets played over Strike because this turn we may not have energy. Exactly what happened here. And you can see the power of Retain as well here. I'm allowed to just sort of play this and hold Unleash for later when it's no shield. And also I don't take a ton of damage. Not much to talk about here. And yeah, the bodyguard upgrade already saving a lot and doing a lot of damage here. Quite nice. Definitely just playing it even though it has retain here. Hopefully we don't end up taking damage here. We do not. This is not relevant to play 2 strikes. Sort of just going through this. Swift Pot. Sleight of Flesh. We have no debuffs currently and we're not in such a great position. I think High Five is excellent though. We have Friendship to have extra energy for it. We have Poke. We have Friendship Strength down, which doesn't affect us at all since it says Asti. So it's quite nice. Sleight of Flesh has so much potential, but I think this run is in a scary enough spot now that I do not want potential. I want solves now. This will push our damage, and the upgrade is quite strong. Extra vulnerable. And just damage. Works well with Unleash being retained as well. And this is where, you know, if you have a Necro tier list pulled up and someone has Sleight of Flesh in S tier and High Fives in like C tier or whatever, that, you know, it just doesn't tell the full story. Which is why these runs exist, right? We do over-explain runs because exactly the spots that you need to understand where High Five is vastly outperforming. It helps a lot. There is an argument to say that because you have Unleash with Retain, you don't need High Five Vuln extension. But I think I will choose to not do that. I think there's no upgrade I really care that much about. If anything, I would upgrade Defend, which feels really weird. You could rest here. I don't foresee that after I add like 1 block card to this deck that I'm really taking damage ever again with the Retains. So I think I'm allowed to take High Five and just not rest for the rest of the act. And if we do end up low rolling or just not seeing anything at all, we can rest at the last fire. That is insanely good. Insanely good. If this shop sucks, we know we have this shop as well. Because I would like to take 2 elites. It does not. So there's a few things here. One, puzzle is insanely strong for endgame potential. Two, we have Putrefy here, which would have been really nice with the Sleight of Flesh, but obviously no renewable debuff, so Sleight is not that crazy. Very draw order reliant. Grave Warden is excellent. Lets us draw with additional energy, and we have Poke to cycle as well and draw into retain cards, so that always gets value. So I think Grave Warden is just always in. After that, we can really think. So partially what I could do here is Putrefy remove. We never really have to worry about debuffs again, but it is important to strip Aeon Glass. And this character, Aeon Glass, is something I'm constantly thinking about. Also more acceptable to play that with like Gorget blocking. So you can remove here because it helps you meaningfully in the upcoming fight. Strike is a really bad card with Friendship in the deck. And so I think I would like to do that over taking Puzzle. It's unlikely we'll be able to afford a second Strike remove here. So you could say to wait here and save your gold and see what you get here. And that's very reasonable. If you get owned in the hallway, you might have to go here and do something, but I don't think we will anymore. We saw a block card. And Strike remove is basically adding a block card as well. So Strike remove here. If you want to remove again, you can say that you skip Putrefy and you don't have weakness, which is okay. I think if we are doing and we're committed to this path, because I think we are definitely strong enough, that you could just take your gold here, remove again, have a very strong deck going into next act, and play this like looping poke thing with Unleash and retain cards. And I quite like that. We don't need the Vuln as much because High Five's in the deck, so we're really only paying for weakness, and there's other ways to get weak. This is a very good one. But I think I would rather have the immediate power of just not having an extra strike in the deck. So let's go ahead and move on and save our gold here. It's possible to low roll gold, I think, and just miss, basically, on the remove. So that could be the big punish here. Okay, here we can dredge to block 3, which is not really blocking 3 because we have Gorget. So I think it's better we just play defend, defend, friendship. Next turn we have a bit of draw. We only take 1 on Austie here, so it's not even real. Okay, here, before you play anything, I think it's important to recognize when you are getting close to your shuffle. And so when you play a card here and you play Soul, you will have a chance to draw that card again. And so any card we do not want to draw again right away, we should not play. So even though you can play Poke, I don't think I will. So I think I'll play Bodyguard, and we can increase odds to draw Defend as well, just to keep Austie HP, right? And now I can play this and shuffle Poke out. So I drew Defend here, which is exactly what I wanted, and I think I will spend 2 energy on Unleash. We can wait, but I can also dredge it back, and it's way more damage than Strike. Unfortunately, got punished a bit here because I would have been able to get the strike for free, but you never know. Okay. Playing Soul here will shuffle next turn. This deck is very, very small, and you can sort of see what the idea is right now. And what I talked about at the beginning of the run, which is like keeping the deck kind of tiny and like not adding attacks, right? We've only added 2, which is honestly kind of more than normal, but we've removed 1 strike. So basically like adding 1. Adding a card that removes itself, card that removes itself, card that cycles itself. So basically everything is like drawing into another thing. I think these cards are bad, so let's go ahead and Soul and see what we get first. The only other consideration, I guess, would be to pull back Grave Warden right now and then add the Soul, which I honestly don't hate. So maybe let's do that. There's not really anything I think that will change what happens here. Do we have Lethal? If I pull back Bodyguard Unleash, which I think I will do, this will do 28, and then Poke is 6, so it is lethal, actually. Okay, always check. Here's weakness that I was talking about, which is why I didn't click Putrefy. There's just other ways to get it on this character. I think that's just immediately in. And yeah, so we need to get 28 gold from this, which is very, very likely. I'm not even sure it's possible to roll lower than that. I think 25 is maybe the lowest, actually. Okay, quite a rough hand here. This is all my block right here. So drop pod is basically always saving HP, which is something to consider. If you don't need HP at all, you can just save this potion for later. We have another elite incoming, and potion chance is pretty high because we've not gotten a ton of them. We only got skill pot plus draw pot. You can manually calculate that. I'm kind of just doing this on vibes right now, but there's the 4 fights. This is a 5th fight here, 6th fight, 7th fight, and we only have dropped 2 potions. The way you calculate this here is that you start at 40% and then increase your potion odds by 10% for each fight and reduce them by 10 for each fight you did get a potion instead. So that's a swing of basically 3. So our potion chance is 70% here, I believe. So could very easily just replace these pots in both fights, and very likely that we don't need to use the pot later. So I don't mind. There's a lot of damage to just randomly accept. Okay, drew all block. Great. We have retaining cards. First things first, I'm allowed to just play poke here. Nothing to do with the shuffling that I talked about. I want to keep my Defy around, so I will also play that. And I think from here, we don't need to play Grave Warden, but we can. To make maximum progress, we can also play Bodyguard. The big thing here is that we shuffle out Dredge, so Dredge doesn't do a whole lot next turn unless we draw something in hand with it. So what we could do is keep Bodyguard in hand to play Bodyguard, Dredge, Bodyguard next turn. I don't think I care about that. We can also play Grave Warden to add the Sullen. Maybe I do care because I have extra energy, actually. So I could see playing Friendship here. I will always play Friendship. Question is, do you play Grave Warden to have more options next turn? Because you're already full blocking with Gorget. Outside of that, you can just say that Bodyguard saves the amount that you would be dredging back next turn because you can dredge Defense or something, which I kind of see. And it obviously has a high roll chance as well. This was not the high roll, but we can block 15. This fight, we will make progress. Even when we don't really try to push damage all that much because we have 0 cost stuff. And that's a very important concept for this character in particular. To be able to make progress in the fight. I think I will choose to just hold this and continue just like shuffling out an attack every cycle. Because I just want to be able to full block and draw into like Defy and whatnot. Exactly. And so basically I'm just going to keep holding and trying to get Aussie HP to go up, which I think we have stabilized in this fight. And we can keep doing this. Here I can play High Five. And yeah, this is perfectly encapsulating the idea, basically. At this point, I think we need to split here. Unfortunately, next turn is like all of our block. But we are taking damage here. So I think we just choose to do this and push as much as we can. We have a lot of vuln. Next turn, we probably don't make that much progress, but that's a very good card to draw. Drew poke as well. No Grave Warden, but basically otherwise perfect. Yeah, and Defy here, amazing in this fight to block a ton. Play Grave Warden, then we can decide, do we want to try to full block? I don't mind. We don't need the vuln. It does push damage, but also maintaining more block is damage with Unleash. Exactly here. That was always lethal, no matter what you draw here. Okay, Power Potion comes, as expected. Vambrace is excellent. Potion chance is 60% now. And this is covering a lot of issues with the deck. Here's a Page Storm with the Defy. Also, we would likely have a free upgrade at the Fire. There's nothing here that I really care about upgrading all that much. And this works with like the Dazes and stuff that you're going to get later on the run. Works nicely with Friendship to give you extra cards to play. Cycles your Defy faster, which is excellent. I think the other cards are just not really what I care about. And we did get 1 more gold than required. This is still a low roll. 30 is average case, I believe. It's like 25 to 35 unless something changed in this game. That would be really cool, but yeah, we just remove again, right? Can go Capture Spirit, that's extremely strong here. But I think remove is just better opportunity cost, like... Oh wait, I'm very stupid. It's okay. Very, very stupid and not think about this. But I mean, like I said, Capture Spirit's excellent here. I don't know why in my head that I was like, oh, this is 125. Very cool. Yeah, Capture Spirit for sure is like a great consolation prize. I was already talking about it before I even talked about the remove, but with this kind of deck, like, we just want to cycle our valuable cards, so we can cycle Poke and cycle Unleash. Okay. Then this line makes no sense, what I did, basically. You should buy the Putrefy, probably. This store would just be skip. I think overall, this is stronger than what ended up happening. So we got kind of like a good outcome undeservedly for just a mistake. Once again, showing the distraction aspect of doing these over-explained runs, I guess. Okay, flatten is somewhat interesting. I don't really think I care. It does work very frequently. We have Capture Spirit, we have Dredge, we have Extra Energy, we have Page Storm, we have Grave Warden Soul. There was also a Haunt in Last Shot that I would really like right now. Haunt would be excellent at the moment. Flatten is just a little bit of extra damage if you say that it's not enough that we are just doing poke stuff. And we sort of get into this like Austie attack package thing with souls to enable consistency, which I don't hate. This fight in particular, the Soulfish, will become kind of annoying. We do have energy to play the beckons. We could ignore this flatten and say we don't need to increase our damage output. The main thing at the fire, I think, is going to be upgrading Page Storm. I think that just needs to be played on site to get it out of the deck. I don't want it like floating around and have to spend energy on it. If you draw before Friendship, it's hard to play. Easier to play with Vambrace, for sure. But Capture Spirit's a very similar card where it's like a setup card, right? It doesn't do anything the turn you play it, really. 3 damage, whatever. You can also dredge back souls, kind of funny. Yeah, I haven't been thinking about a flatten this long in a while, but I think it's pretty solid here. This deck wants a little bit more damage and likes the vulnerable with this as well. Okay, here's where High Five will go absolutely crazy. We are full blocking this turn. What I can do is commit Dredge now to weaken somewhere else, but I think I should just play a Strike because we have Vambrace here. This just blocks full. And now I play like Strike on the back guy because it's the most threatening soonest. And then outside of that, the most threatening will be the front one. High Five wants to be played here. I think that much is clear. It's a lot of damage. We will take a bit here. This will die to 1 strike next turn. And I don't mind taking 8 damage here. Not going to bother committing a potion. I think we are definitely safe in this act. Can try to hoard potions for act 2. Okay. I guess I meant poke or something else. There's no strikes in the draw pile, so that doesn't make sense. Okay, flatten is not working, unfortunately, even with all of these things. Feels bad. Can just play whatever here. We did upgrade our thing, so I don't mind just playing Grave Warden here and then playing flatten to kill, because this is a little bit more awkward. Next turn we have poke. This blocks 10, so you can block more technically, but not make progress. I think I would choose to make progress, but yeah, you could play Bodyguard and defend there, but you don't need to. I would like to shuffle poke in. It's a pretty decent draw. And this turn I can do this as well. These are both good draws, so I don't mind shuffling those in. Fight is definitely over here. Just draw a bunch. Popper is excellent for this character. Sleight of Flesh is here. Works with the High Five and the Defy a little bit. I don't mind. We have a little bit of extra energy. Makes the flatten way worse, but I don't care. I think we just take it for the end game. It's not excellent right now. Right now, Dirge is probably better by quite a bit. We have extra energy, so you could think about that. And it lines up our flatten more consistently. So I don't mind this Dirge actually at all. Could even upgrade that over upgrading Page Storm. Makes it easier to play. Easier to play with Vambrace as well. You like overblock on turns more consistently, especially with Gorget as well. The Dirge is excellent, I think. Yeah, Haunts would be very good right about now. We can upgrade that. We can also upgrade this. If I get like a Shrimp or something, then this would be what I shrimp. Page Storm in this fight is not so important to play. So we could just ignore it for a little bit. Okay, well, here's Dirge right away. I don't think I want to skip Friendship here, though. So I think I will choose to play that. And then just slam Dirge here. Don't use our Vambrace, obviously. Bodyguard is held in hand. Very nicely. I guess the other question we should have asked is, do I want to Power Pod on turn 1 if you're scared? But I don't think I am scared in this fight. I think we were relatively okay. So we'll do the obvious line first. And then this is all... just use your energy. I don't think many considerations here at all. Okay. Letting Defy go is like very wrong here, I think. I don't want to do that. I would like to play High Five. We could let Defy go. We could. But I think here we just do it like this and retain our Unleash. I just want to play that before I shuffle because I need to push damage a little bit in this fight. So like, for example, here, play Unleash, then play Capture Spirit and shuffle, or we can play Soul to shuffle, then play Capture Spirit for more souls. Okay, we can Dredge Unleash here. Just push a lot of damage. And choosing to draw now can draw into Defy and also draw into Beckons I can't play, which doesn't really make sense. It would have. Okay, here's where Aussie's covering me. Not much to do on this turn, just play hand. Aussie has it though. You can see the damage on this deck is pretty significant though. Even with very little stuff added, we just haven't added like a lot of garbage to the deck. I think the flatten overall is going to be negative long term, but at least in the short term is going to be a lot of damage. You can go ahead and block and hold Unleash again. Another reason why like retain on this card is so good. We can draw now. This could draw into more Beckons, but Ostie's got HP, so I don't mind. Go ahead and just block a bit. No Vol now, but we are way ahead on damage here. Necro very quickly gets to like stable positions in fights, so I'm blowing through it a little bit here. Because I am not really scared of taking damage anymore. I don't need to play like super correct lines anymore. You can see that the Beckons do pile up here though, so it's important to respect this fight. Need to at least think about it in deck building, and yeah, here we get perfect potion preservation, basically. Okay, our Sleight of Flesh is going in. I think this is very clearly just Reaper form though. We have extra energy to play it. It's easier with Vambrace, easier with Gorget. In scaling situations, we have like front load with like the Dirge and whatnot, right? But the damage scaling relies on us stabilizing the fight and keeping Ostie HP for Unleash. Outside of that, things fall off quite quickly. And so Reaper form is cutting the time in the fight in half, basically. Also works with Vulnerable really nicely. I think it's very good. Okay. It is in fact the Shrimp, as I mentioned. That is very strong. It's blocking a ton on turn 1 and adding draw consistency to the deck, which is excellent. Makes it easier to just slam the Reaper form right away. Protector's pretty interesting with the Dirge, but I think we want the Dirge played first before I worry about that. So I think this is very clearly just Shrimp. We don't have a ton of money here. I don't really want to walk into advanced hallways with this deck. We have a lot of like expensive cards. With Dirge, it's a lot safer for sure. I would love if we can get a Haunt or something, and that would help kill very quickly. We will kind of turbo through our deck now and more easily line up Flatten and draw into Poke and these kinds of things. And Page Storm gets better to upgrade now because we don't have energy on like turn 1 specifically. Currently looking at something like this. The other side has a bunch of hallways, which I don't really love. And this way we can take maybe 4 elites? Maybe 3. We're pretty strong now with these relics. So let's convert that strength into something. We can play High Five to help split it, which I don't mind. Pretty important to get Vuln down, I think. And then Capture Spirit's just better than Page Storm here. I don't expect us to go like another draw cycle, really. I don't want to use my Vambrace here. I don't think. Okay, we do get the poke at the flatten, as mentioned, so let's go ahead and just play that. We can go ahead and play another soul to try and draw into like dredge and stuff. Maybe we can kill this turn. Yeah, we can draw into like dredge and then flatten again, right? So yeah, there's unleash here, dredge the flatten, and unleash. Go. Yeah, we can do very explosive turns like this with Vuln, which is really nice. Okay, cleanse plus. A bit weird. It does like somewhat help with controlling our draw with like the souls, and that's kind of cool. Summon is a nice keyword, and this is like a big enough number that I should think about it just for that. But we can exhaust down and sort of do a looping thing with souls and just loop flatten for damage. I don't mind it. Unupgraded, no way. Upgraded, I think we're thinking about, and these other cards are basically nothing. It's kind of fake into Aeon Glass, but does help against the Insatiable for sure. We can get rid of the statuses once they start costing 2 or more. Okay. The character that has the most available energy here is Ironclad. And I think that's a no-brainer. The attacks are worse, but we can go ahead and look at all of these characters just to get a better idea. I think off of vibes, Ironclad is just going to be the best. There's a lot of bricks here, but like Bloodletting, Burning Pact, all these things. Exhaust would be really, really strong right now. Second Wind would be insane. Feel No Pain would be insane with the souls. Pack's End, Fiendfire, like all these things, right? Dark Embrace, Barricade, Unmovable, Pyre. Pyre is sort of like Friendships. It's not that great, but Colossus even. There's a lot. The other option would be Silent, which I don't really think is all that great. There's some funny stuff. Footwork and whatever would be like the best thing, but I think overall the uncommon card quality is not nearly as good and doesn't have the exhaust synergy. Regen's quite interesting here because of creation stuff. Star stuff is all a brick, unfortunately. Supermassive is kind of funny. Even Convergence is not that great, right? Without the stars. It's cool, but there's like some very funny stuff here. But overall, I think it's just Clad, and it's not really close, so my first vibe was correct. This is likely to just be a brick. This is also just sort of a brick. Okay, here's Impervious. We just take that. I'm not going to talk about it. We don't use Strength at all. I think it's pretty obvious that these other things are just very bad, but I will take a huge block card. Rage is somewhat interesting, but I think overall it's just bloating the deck too much, and we don't really use it. It's like only on the Osti attack turns, and it's just making the Osti attacks not happen as much. Okay. We full block with 1 defend here with Vambrace. And then that makes the rest of this pretty obvious on what to do. Reaper Form is like really useless in this fight, so let's just get rid of it. Never want to play that. Extender's Bane will remove itself, and strikes are actually useful here. Let's go ahead and play strike on the back. There's a threshold here with 2 attacks now. Consolency. High 5 plus flatten will kill, but I want to have a little bit more info. Can look for poke here as well, or dredge. See what it is. Dredge can pull back flatten. Unfortunately, it's not quite killing. But we are very covered here. I think I can just go ahead and play this. We're not taking any damage here. We just want to kill that next turn with any of like the random attacks. Here's Debilitate. We don't have enough weakness, I think, for me to want to do that yet. That's the real reason. It can scale Vuln, but this really wants an upgrade. I think overall, the more important thing here is just the Putrefy to strip Artifact in the first place, and then we can worry about it. Reaper Form helps strip Artifact, but just getting Vuln down is important. This is easier to play. Vuln with Reaper Form is the important interaction. I think the other thing is just a little bit one more. It's only good in the situation that you already have Vuln down. Power Potion I don't really care about. These other things I do care a lot about. I'm not giving Gorge it up. Pretty good trade. I think I will run into this elite here. It means the shop is likely dead. Unfortunately, can't remove here. Or by the orrery. Okay, bone shards is no for sure. We start with a big Ostie already with the shrimp, so absolutely not. What I could do here is buy fairy in the bottle and just hold it for endgame. I don't mind Defy, but I don't think I want to pay money for it at this point. No escape's only really good after Reperform, but I think after Reperform is down, we don't have damage problems. So yeah, you can think about short term if you're scared. I have Festive Hopper though in the Dirge Shrimp, so I'm not all that terrified right now of short term. I think I'm better off just buying the fairy and waiting. If you expect to use a potion in the short term, which maybe you do, then you can buy Colorless Pot. But I can also just use the tincture and just have that in a fight. Like we have Impervious Reperform, we'll find a use for the energy somehow, or to play the friendship or whatever. It's just easy to like tank the damage on your face and play those cards in the first place. So I don't expect to really need to use pot. Yeah, fairy is for endgame basically. We just hold that and say that it's not getting used for a while. That's fine. Okay. This is blocking 7 here. I think it's very obvious I want to deploy high 5 here, and then after that we can think. Block 7 is something. Helps us retain Ostie HP, which we wouldn't have before. This fight can be quite annoying here, so I think I will max respect it. Impervious is excellent here, but I don't really want to be putting a ton of souls, and they're hard to play. It gets harder to play as the fight goes on. So one idea is to just turbo through now and use them. I think it's pretty apparent that I would like to play Reperform though. The question is, do I need to also play Friendship? I think no, because in this fight, block doesn't really actually get played very often. So we're just going to tank. So like Reperform Poke. Here's Impervious, here's also Defy. Don't want to lose this card. There's nothing else to really do on this turn. We can play this. Play Asol. These cards are not great. Just to draw through a bit more and get rid of one. Okay. So here, these are both positive to play. And I think I will scale that to scale Unleash damage. Capture Spirit I don't want in this fight. Probably won't play Friendship in this fight as well. This is one of the only scary fights I think for us. Could consider doing this plus Strike here. It's 12 damage, so it's meaningful. I think I don't mind, and I don't want to overlay pots because the fairy needs to stay basically. So if I get a potion, I want to get some value out of it. Okay. Putrefy is like always played here. Very clear. Outside of that, we can think now. Can extend weakness with Defy. It's also interesting to play like Unleash, Dredge, Unleash. Because Reperform here still applies Doom even when the shield is blocking it. So 10 damage, basically. It's good to play these, though. And I think for now, we will just wait and play that later, maybe? More Ostie HP. Okay. Cleanse is slightly negative, but scales Unleash damage, and we can get rid of Defends now that are complete garbage. So I don't mind. We will just play everything. And he's dead. I could have done a little bit more math there to maybe save 1 HP. Okay, before you click Warpaint, go ahead and look. Scythe. With Reaper form, that says double on it. So that's pretty meaningful. And this is very buffed. So I could upgrade it immediately and just start scaling it. I really don't mind that at all. I think this is very pickable at this point still. That is probably the scariest fight, and we could intentionally avoid this 4th elite to not have to fight Dorito again. We could do something like this, which makes the Scythe upgrade a bit more appealing. I mean, the Scythe upgrade is just like good, right? The only other thing I care about is like Page Storm upgrade, which we can do later. Cool. Always have a potion to throw. B guy is buffed. 60 block impervious, very interesting. We can keep it around if we would like, and accept a little bit of damage instead. I don't think I care all that much though, so we can just play impervious into bodyguard, and this fight is like not scary whatsoever. Obviously I can just throw the rock, there's no reason not to really. But this is just like block, capture spirit. Let's not add any more dazes. Let's just draw through, play the powers or whatever, make some progress. Cleanse before I draw here makes sense. Get rid of strike. Once we get Page Storm down, we don't even really have to care all that much about what is happening in the deck. Next turn, we will take a little bit. Putrefy weakness is really good here. So I could just accept the damage next turn to play all the stuff. Hold Unleash and then Unleash Flatten works. Don't care that much about Defy. I mean, I do a little bit. But yeah, weakening the whole next cycle sounds pretty good. It's also like dredge back something, but we'll take a little here. Not that big of a deal. Don't have to Page Storm first, can shuffle. I want to play the Scythe though. If I shuffle it out, it gets harder. Not impossible though to play. But that means we skip Friendship or Page Storm. It sounds kind of weird. So I could just not shuffle at all, and we can just do like this sort of thing. And then these cards actually draw next turn. We can play Soul to shuffle, which is exactly what I don't want to do, right? Take a tiny bit. But that's the scariest turn for a while. Let's full block here, and then do the thing to make progress, which is just playing Scythe here. Meta scaling. Could have done something else there, but okay. I would like to set up a lethal if I can. Unfortunately, Reperform's not really doing that. Like to kill next turn, so we might end up taking damage. We basically draw this full hand next turn. Is there anything we can do with Dredge? That's cool. Fortunately, I don't have Vuln. I think I maybe could have played Vuln and then Dredge the Scythe instead. That's probably better. So yeah, slight inaccuracy, I guess. Maybe not slight, might be significant. Starter's like pretty annoying. Capture Spirit into Reperform. The next turn we have to block somehow. I need to play Defy then, and then we like Dredge Defy. Could just play Reperform to not have it in the deck, but can also play Capture Spirit to just continue drawing around. What would I like to dredge outside of that? Yeah, we're probably taking the hit next turn, which is kind of annoying. Dredge now? For max block, basically, which is just Defy, Grave Ward, and Defend Plus or something. There's maybe a lethal here. We can think about it. Should check. With like High Five, Flatten, Unleash. How much is that? 13, Flatten turns to 18. That's 31 already. The HP buffs, I think, mattered here, which is funny. We draw into Poke, which is 9. And this is 12. It's actually perfect, right? So High Five, Flatten. Cleanse, the rounding doesn't work, I don't think. I should have actually done drawn to Poke first, because I think we can fill too much hand space and get owned. I'll just draw this in case. Yeah, if I draw... No, it's basically not gonna matter, right? Never mind, HP buffs did not matter. Bone Flute! Excellent, 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 excellent. Very, very cool. Flex Potion does absolutely nothing, but that's okay. Snap is kind of interesting here with Scythe. Also, like, Snap Flatten or whatever. Snap Impervious. Snap to hold a block card on turn 1 when you don't need it. Snap to kind of just hold your whole hand by the end of it anyways and, like, exhaust down. It's pretty interesting, to be honest. And it blocks a little bit. We'll eventually get to the point where I don't think it matters. We're just, like, cycling the whole deck, so probably not. It's interesting, though. Maybe upgrade it, I would click. Oh, I should have tossed this. Ah, that's my fault. Obviously. Yeah, you can just toss this for 15. I guess I'll just use it here. This fight is quite nasty, but at least we draw Friendship turn 1. I want to try and kill this before it puts statuses in my deck, but maybe next turn I can kill this when it's hitting me for a lot. Can ignore Friendship, but that sounds very silly. Make sure to play the attack before the Friendship there. Yep. Here's the Scythe. Yeah, the Strike would have done it this turn, but then we were energy short. And also the Potion would have done it, so yeah, big mistake, right? The Flex Spot being way worse. Don't think there's too much to do here. We unfortunately just do this and lose some Osti HP. But it means that we can kill this. Can try to draw Imperv here. I will Soul first and see. Other than that, we can also just block, right? This should definitely be played like always. Yeah, here we are. And we should stabilize now. There's no status getting added to the deck. I don't want to draw because this is like solving, basically. Let's just play here. And then we can do block, Bodyguard, Unleash, because full blocking with Bone Flute and with the thing, the Gorget. Could set up Pendulum, being a bit lazy here. Sleight of Flesh with Reaper Form. If you are very concerned about damage, you can take it. I think we're allowed to because I have the Dirge Shrimped. Is Attack Potion better or worse than this? It could block 2. So we'll keep it. Yeah, I don't mind the Sleight. Also, if we upgrade Page Storm, the next fire, and then we can upgrade Sleight, or we can upgrade Putrefy. I think with Scythe and Reaper Form, we won't, but if we draw them in the bad draw order and want to play Scythe earlier, then the damage kind of falls off a bit. And probably after this, we don't really need help for damage at all. I think that's just basically solving it. Ugh. Gross event. We have Fairy, so we could just click this and be big. And maybe the Fairy pays off because we're big. I don't really want to add commons to this deck. There's quite a few that are good, I think, but if you brick and you have to add some like garbage attacks, I'm gonna be very sad. Like, Wisp is fine here, Defy is fine, Invoke is fine. But other than that, I don't really want anything, I don't think. We'll take a little bit of risk because I have the Fairy to cover, but I can imagine that we're also just like, okay. Here's Scythe. We can attack pawn and just kill something at turn 1. I think I just want to see what this is anyways. It could be a high 5, which would be really good. Berry's excellent, just kill. Okay, we can kill 2. So Scythe plus 12 here is 39 clean. And I want to kill the one that's debuffing me anyways, so that is very clear, right? And then just bury the guy with more, and it's hitting me for more. Very good turn 1. Good pushing. Scythe is also, you can just see, kind of like a little bit overtuned now, I think. Putrefy should be played. Unleash probably also played. I don't think I care about Reaper Form. We've definitely like gotten to a point where this is sort of stable now. Have an Impervious, can kill this and sort of get it under control. Impervious lets me just play Friendship here and not care. Can also just kill one. Friendship's pretty good. We have bodyguards that use the extra energy. This should die to flatten here, which we will draw into like very easily. I say as we exact bottom deck it? No, okay. So we have weakness, we have defend, flatten unfortunately costs too much here, but it's fine. Cannot combo with anything, but I think we should just kill something. Blocks 9. That does make progress. You can also do Sleight of Flesh into Defy instead. And then you get that out of the deck. Which I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind. I think then we draw a high five and just sort of win. Not really taking anything either. The friendship has been very, very good. Well, we have lethal here with like Defy into Poke. Sort of thing. I'm just gonna redraw high five. I can try to set this up, but once again, sort of being lazy here. Okay, I had a line to like pull back Capture Spirit and then you can't exactly bottom deck it. I thought it wasn't really possible, but I played a bit too quickly. That's okay. I can dredge back a lethal here. Like Poke, flatten. It's a fire or something. This should just wipe everything off the face of the earth. Very clean. Scale Potion's definitely better than the rock that we could get, so take it. Here's End of Days. We have Sleight of Flesh. Slight AoE issue. Only slight. Not slight. Other slight. Yeah, we can take End of Days. Or I can just skip. It does help us clear out some of the hallways in next act a bit. Like the scrolls, which could be kind of annoying, but Scythe is also sort of doing that. I don't think we really need this. I'm just going to triple check and think a bit more before I fully commit to that, but yeah, I don't think we need it. Snap is interesting, once again, but I don't think so. Pretty expensive to play. Okay, with Fairy and Skill Pot, I don't think I need to respect too much. Can upgrade Putrefy for more weakness, which I don't mind. I don't think the Sleight is as needed for damage right now. We should be okay. Friendship is here. Can wait for Reperform and for Vuln on this. So I think at this point we just play Strike first, then Friendship, then Defy. Fortunately, I waste my Vambrace, but keeping weakness around makes a lot of sense, and it draws. This fight is like something that you have to respect a bit, I think. Let's go ahead and draw first. I could play Grave Warden, not sure I'm going to though. Okay, here's Putrefy. So what we can do now is just play Slight Putrefy Grave Warden. And not deploy Frantic yet, because we are mostly going to be okay here, I think. Pulling down. Okay. Cleansing a strike away makes a lot of sense before I even do anything. Before I draw or whatever. We could run into energy issues, but we should be relatively okay here. And then go ahead and Soul Plus for max info. Impervious can be played. Keep all of our Osti HP. Just exhaust some more cards out of the deck. Can draw into maybe a Page Storm here. Limited energy economy, relatively. Alternatively, we can just slam Reperform. I think we will do that later whenever the enemy does not attack, right? So we can do Imperv. And I could play Bodyguard or Frantic Escape. I'm not going to play Bodyguard because it has Retain, probably. Frantic Escape gives us more time. Captured Spirit lets us next turn more reasonably deploy Dredge on Reaper form or something. I think that is correct. Let's not play Soul here. I don't want to draw into Dredge. Because this is the turn that I would like to make a lot of progress. Maybe to play Powers.
We can always get to Dredge here. Question is, do we want to? Because outside of that, we can play Frantic Escape and like High Five and stuff. I think Reaper Form needs to be played, but that leaves us in a bit of a weird spot.
Where we don't have enough Frantic Escapes played. So instead we could also just play Bodyguard, Frantic Escape, High Five, use Oz DHP to make progress later. Don't even need the Reaper Form necessarily. But this will do a lot of damage now. Let's go ahead and play Soul Minus. If we draw into Defy, we will overdraw. Okay, Poke can just be played on site. A little bit of free block. Button, same deal. I don't think I'm playing Reaper Form this turn. I kind of need to play Frantics. Yeah, okay. Here's where we use OCHP to make progress, right? I can just play all of these. And then we are better set up here. I can also play one Unleash instead of playing Dredge, but I'd like to pull back like Flatten and Poke. This is just a lot of damage, 52. It's like quarter of its life. And it blocks more than playing the Frantic, obviously. I think we're not gonna have issues. We have 2 1-cost Frantics. So let's go ahead and just like block a bit more. We can retain that, so just pull it back. Okay, Scythe hopefully lands with Vuln. Should be easy enough to guarantee. Can like delete Defend or something. Capture Spirit. This doesn't need to be played. Cleanse, Defend. Leash blocks 2. Not playing this Frantic is probably okay. We likely kill in time. We have one more Frantic as well. It only takes 1, so maybe I'll be a little more pessimistic, I guess. Probably doesn't matter, but... I'm gonna kill this turn. Defy is blocking 1,000,000 here. So unless we're literally killing right now, we should play it, which I don't think we are killing. Next turn is chill. So part of me just wants to like do Defend into Scythe or something. Playing High Five is definitely an angle for sure, but...
I'm not really all that scared here.
Next turn we draw a lot more, we have Pendulum and we have Soul. So I don't think I'm running into issues of getting eaten. Could play High Five over Scythe. And say we redraw into it. Not so guaranteed. Playing the Frantic Escape is the most pessimistic thing you can do here. I don't hate it. We could also Soul here. And then play Grave Warden. And like Defend or something in Frantic. I think that's also fine. We have this next turn. Do not play Soul here. You don't want to shuffle out your Scythe. I think I want to draw first for High Five or what?
Instead of playing Capture Spirit. Basically, this line
Lives an extra turn. We just need to set up block. We have Fairy, so it's not that big of a deal if that gets used, but... Can set up Reaper Form instead with like the Slight or whatever. But this looks like it's like dying currently. Okay, I probably should have played Scythe, to be honest, instead of playing the pessimistic line, because I think we would have just been out of here. Me being a little too scared. Because there's no Vol, and this is actually not so free. Tells me Capture Spirit should be played here. And then we can try to draw through all this garbage, because this is like not great. Question is, do I play Reaper form? It's like a little bit late. Maybe we needed to play this more aggressively. Can also do something like Scythe into Bodyguard. We have Fairy to cover like actually dying, so I don't think we're gonna die here. The question is, can we save Fairy? I think I will play Reaper form. I mean, maybe use Skill Pot to try and not lose the Fairy. Can cleanse away like the 2-cost Frantic. And then try to draw into our like sort of combo. Okay, no high five, no flatten. Next turn we always have the Frantic Escape. That's not an issue. This is just this. Then maybe just play Unleash, right? As long as we don't lose Fairy here, we're kind of chilling. So yeah, just do this, make some progress. Next turn it should die. If I don't get to play Scythe, that's pretty bad. More so annoying, I guess, but we can Soul. This is always just dead, but okay, cool. We got Scythe. Okay, saved all our resources, set up Pendulum. I think the draw orders were kind of bad on the reshuffle, but that just happens in this fight where your deck is a lot worse because of the statuses, obviously. Overall, I think what I did was okay. I don't know if it was necessarily the best possible line. I think you can play Reaper form earlier and be a little more pessimistic about the fight and try to greed a little bit less, but Spire is a game of trying to max greed and save as many resources as you can. So it's worthwhile to attempt, and if it doesn't work out, you just learn from it. But yeah, kind of a closer fight than I thought. Obviously, if I play the Reaper form, it's a lot easier, right? Without playing Reaper form, it's a bit harder, but we have a slight issue of having energy to get power set up in the first place, which hopefully we can fix somehow. This is Sleight of Flesh, also just blocks a lot. Excellent. Eidolon is basically really, really fringe. Shared Fate is doing exactly what we need. It's a 0-cost card that lets us get our power set up, still blocks and pushes damage, and we don't care about the strength loss at all, really. So yeah, just really, really excellent card. Just snap pick there. Okay, Vaku. We have Dirge played on turn 1. Wishes are pretty excellent here. I do like the extra energy, and it helps our Shrimp as well. So it's extra 4 block on turn 1. The main thing is it can like really mess up like some of the ethereal cards or whatever. Like you can miss your Defier, play Shared Fate into Artifact or whatever. It can really screw up. But I think with energy, it's very strong. Like we're just strong anyways, and we have a little bit of lower coverage. Anglass is here and Test Subject. That is definitely the hardest matchup to see by a lot. Wishes let us pull out Friendship earlier, but it's still harder to get set up. But yeah, we have turn 1 protection for the earrings. I don't think I mind it. Wishes are very strong, but yeah, let's go extra energy here. This is just makes the run really comfy. We want to shop here. A lot of dollar. After that, we can decide. I kind of want just the fires into like dodge elites. I think we feel pretty comfortable in the end game here. Yeah, not the worst turn 1 from Vaku. With energy, it's hard to mess up with it. We can like waste our Vambrace now, I guess, but we can cleanse first and then go. Your Scythe. That just wants to be played. I'm just trying to metascale as much as I can. Fate. Can try to draw into Flatten, but it costs 2 still. Outside of that, this next turn is not so good. I don't think we need the energy from Friendship in this fight necessarily. It's not long enough, so let's just play Soul and see what happens. Can I dredge a lethal here? Don't think so. The deck would be way worse without the Scythe. I will definitely say that for sure. It's very much like Scythe is just an excellent card in this spot. Because the deck just wants to set up powers and play the fights long. And when you have a card that basically perfectly covers the fights that you're normally bad at, which are all the short ones. Strike is lethal here, so I'll just try to draw into it. I don't care too much about Pendulum, especially with Vaku. Parse, not really. We have a bunch of souls. Sculpting Strike, also not really. We have like Cleanse a little bit. It's like somewhat of a thing into Aeon Glass, but I think we just kill fast enough with the energy now. Fear is not really a concept there either, I don't think. Happy Flower is here for even more energy. I don't mind that at all. I also don't mind this delay. Just tons of energy transfers into good stuff with all the draw that we have. Toolbox is also excellent.
I don't know how this works with Vaku's Earring, so we could do some science.
Does he like play it, or does he just choose for you? Like if you choose and then he plays the card instantly, that's kind of cool, but I don't know how that works. Happy Flower is just really, really good, right? Just gonna grab this. Delay is interesting for sure. Minus basically demands the upgrade. I want to upgrade Sight of Flesh for sure. I also kind of want to upgrade Reaper Form in case that we draw it turn 1 and Vaku doesn't play it. It's a little weird though. It's very easy to draw back into it or dredge it, especially with extra energy. You can buy like Dupe Pot for endgame, but I think it's weirder with the Whispering Earrings because Vaku can play the card you want to dupe. Like Dupe Pot Scythe is just like insane, but obviously that can just get played. So we have to play around that a little bit of where like we don't guaranteed have this like Reaper Form Scythe idea. But I don't think we need Scythe to kill the bosses. We'll just have like a Reaper Form Sight of Flesh and play like the Aussie attacks and it'll be enough. This right-hand hand is somewhat interesting as well, but I think turns into not so much. I think I will save money if there's another shop. We're not necessarily going to it, but I don't hate going to it in case we need to remove some like garbage curse or something. Do we want to take another elite? I think with Fairy, I feel like we win without running into all the elites. So I can just take Max Fires and upgrade. So I'll save money instead. And we will do this line instead. Good job, Vaku. Pretty funny. Worked out. We can give him Happy Flower in turn 1. Make him happy. Scythe. These are synced up actually, which is cool. It's actually really good. Getting energy on the turn you get the card draw is nice. I can also not give Vaku the extra energy. I'm a little lazy. Flatten plus, I don't think so. Don't think second dredge either, and pull aggro unupgraded, no way. Probably not even upgraded. Okay, this guy's buff now. Good job, we tactfully avoided playing Sight of Flesh. Even though it would be good here, it's fine, but... I'm gonna go ahead and play Capture Spirit. We can draw into more souls, makes it better. Okay. Imperv here to play other powers makes a lot of sense. Probably just draw back into this, right? We don't really need the friendship down as much anymore, not in like these short fights. So not any like essential powers I really have to play to win anymore with the extra energy that I have. And so much draw on the first cycle as well. We can cleanse it away even. Not much to talk about here. Once again, we are sort of just in a stable position. not gonna bother setting this up. Borrowed time? Extra energy again? How about so much draw? I don't think we need another Sight of Flesh. Reperform is basically just doing that. Borrowed time, a little weird. First, like, actual burst energy that we have in this deck. But strange. I want to play Souls, and then Souls get more expensive. And for the most part, I think Happy Flower and the Earrings and Friendship, we are covered. So probably not. Yeah, we're not using the Toad basically at all anymore. Fortunately, I ignored Reperform here and wasted our Vambrace, but that's what happens. Can just play High Five and kill so we don't take any damage, and to play Friendship and hold our Impervious to dredge it back maybe.
Yeah, here's Dredge. We basically kill everything. We can just do this into High Five. And now everything explodes.
Once again, fight gets very simple. Friendship plus. The plus doesn't actually mean anything, so it's just, do you want a second Friendship? I don't think so. We don't really need it in this deck anymore. Sight of Flesh upgrade just to push damage a bit more. Tuning Fork, set up for Vaku. It gets a little weird, I guess, in this run with, like, I don't know if I want to upgrade that because it can just get played into Artifact, which doesn't do anything. So there's not like a whole lot to actually do here. We can, again, do this like luxury upgrade of Retain here, so I can't miss it. Because I think that the only way we really lose is that in Aeon Glass, Vaku really fucks up turn 1, like, bad. Very funny, plays the whole hand. And like misses every power, and that can be bad, so it would require like a really bad draw on turn 1 as well, which is very unlikely, but it's something we can start covering now because the run's in such a winning position. Just gonna work on the ones that actually going to kill me here. See, we have tons of energy now. Nuclear clip, I think. Scythe will deal with this. And once again, we can like set up relics or whatever. Try to increment Tuning Fork a bit more. Set these up on 2 at the very least. It's pretty easy to do at this point, so might as well. Lethality, amazing. That's like one of the powers we really do want, and it comes green. Works with Reaper Form really nicely. Scythe works really nicely. Obviously, it's not guaranteed we get that, and we can miss it, but getting extra energy is nice. Okay, at this point, Sparkling Rouge is way better than Festive Popper. Pocket Watch is insane. And Vaku very easily messes up Vambrace, but it's not very likely to even proc Pocket Watch most of the time. I think I'll just take my 1 Dexterity. Call it a day. Worst case of the shop, we just remove. Okay, very nice. We get Impervious for 60. What does he cleanse here? I guess that is like a really bad situation, right? Where he can cleanse. I didn't think about that. He can cleanse like Reperform or something. Interesting. Okay. Lethality can be played here. I also want to play Reperform in this fight. We'll just not draw. I lose my weakness, but we have other weakness, and this is exactly why, right? With this combo, you just win. We can set up Tuning Fork, but once again, being lazy. Yeah, I'm good on this. Snack Oil over Skill Pot, probably not. Here's another Lethality, which I do enjoy, so I'm going to click it. If Vaku somehow really messes up, then we get owned, but whatever. All this Smooth Stone with this, less needed. Also, I think we just kill really fast now. Gambler's Brew is like maybe the best potion here, but we have a Skill Pot, and I think the differential between tossing like -1 Skill Pot for this versus a remove is not so good. Upgrade Lethality here. Can also rest for 12, but I think we are super chilling now. Yeah, and here's the Shared Fate going to Artifact as mentioned, which is fine. Luckily, Valky didn't do anything really stupid here, so we should be more than okay. And Artifact is stripped for the Putrefy. Okay, let's go ahead and draw here, see what we get. Double Lethality wants to be played, and we have Double Lethality into Scythe, hopefully with the Putrefy. So we can sort of just set that up and pay life for it, and just, like, exhaust something random. I'm not going to worry about the Dredge right now. I think we just make as much progress as possible and get rid of some garbage. Skill pot not needed here at all. That subject could go a lot worse if bad things happen, but yeah, I mean, this is just way too much damage. We can, like, try to draw into Reaper form, but we can't play it this turn anyways, so very much a whatever situation. Scythe is very strong now. Really way too strong. Can just play Unleash here. Can play Slight with the Reaper form incoming. I don't think it matters too much what you do. Should be very winning here. That is lethal, and now we just block. Very chill fight. Didn't really set up stuff, but I mean, that is like exactly what this deck is trying to do. Like why you take the Scythe, why you have this Reaper form. Lethalities came last second, but even without that, this was going to be a ton of damage. Just probably had to go a little bit longer and like use resources, but now I have everything for this. And it looks like we skip Scythe here, which is pretty bad. Can Dredge, though, which is the main thing. So we can help fix Vaku's error, I guess. Cleanse is worth playing still, I think. We have Fairy to not, like, die. Can just buff this guy up a bit. Just to make progress. Okay, we can miss Slight here for, like, Lethality, Putrefy, and stuff. To me, that seems very worth it. And now we might lose Fairy next turn, but that is okay. We also maybe have an Impervious or something. Okay, Reaper form is here. That's a ton of damage. Try to draw in Lethality here. That should just kill, right? Yes. Okay. Yeah, very simple fight now. Still gonna have full resources as well. This is more than okay. Could have Capture Spirited first, but again, very easy win now, so don't have to think too hard. This guy cheats and goes intangible, unfortunately. Can play this for fun and hold Bodyguard, I guess. Lethality is a ridiculous card. Kind of blitzing through this a little bit, obviously, but again, if there's any questions, we'll be happy to answer in comments. Obviously, I'm doing these not live anymore. Well, let's not use potion just to say we didn't use pots. Okay. And there it is. I think around this amount of time is what I need roughly in this game right now to play accurately and probably not lose. Like I mentioned in the patch notes video, this pace is not even good enough to like get world record streak. Not that I can. I don't even think I would get 50. That's a big number. But it's just impossible to attempt, which is unfortunate. Regardless, like these sorts of runs where they're more well thought out are still fun. It's just hard to keep up this pace. Like probably only can do 1 or 2 of these a day at most. And it's just, after that, my brain's fried. So it's just not really feasible to to try and attempt, but currently 100% win rate offline. I know, you know, people won't believe that or whatever. You can believe whatever you want, but yeah, 100% win rate offline playing like this, which is, I mean, more than I can ask for. Until I start losing, then we'll readjust, but so far so good. Okay, thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.